What if I told you history is filled with stories so unbelievable they sound completely made up? A bear that became an official soldier, a president who dreamed about his own death, and an emperor who declared war on rabbits. And somehow, every one of these stories is true. Here are 5 history facts that sound fake, but aren't. Our next story begins during the Second World War. While traveling through the Middle East, a group of Polish soldiers came across an orphaned Syrian brown bear cub. The tiny bear was adopted by the soldiers and given the name Wojtek. As he grew, Wojtek became an unlikely member of the unit. He traveled with the soldiers, shared their meals, and quickly became a beloved companion. According to those who served alongside him, Wojtek enjoyed wrestling with the men and was especially fond of fruit, honey, and even an occasional bottle of beer. When the unit was sent to Italy, military regulations prevented animals from officially joining the transport ships, so the soldiers found an unusual solution. They enlisted Wojtek as a private in the Polish army. During the Battle of Monte Cassino, Wojtek reportedly helped carry heavy crates of artillery shells to the front lines. Whether he fully understood his role or was simply copying the soldiers around him, no one can say. After the war, Wojtek spent the rest of his life in a zoo in Scotland, where many of his former comrades continued to visit him. Today, he remains one of the most remarkable and beloved animals in military history. Our next story takes us to Washington, D.C., during the final days of the American Civil War. President Abraham Lincoln had carried the weight of the nation through 4 difficult years of conflict. But only days before his assassination, he shared a dream that many would later find unsettling. According to those close to him, Lincoln dreamed he was walking through the White House. The halls were strangely quiet. Then he heard the sound of people crying. Following the voices, he entered a room where soldiers stood silently beside a covered body. Lincoln asked who had died. One of the guards answered, "The president." He awoke deeply disturbed by the dream. Only a short time later, on April 14, 1865, Lincoln was assassinated while attending a play at Ford's Theatre. Whether the dream was simply coincidence, a reflection of the enormous pressures he faced, or something more mysterious has been debated ever since. Today, it remains one of history's most famous and haunting premonitions. Our next story takes us to London in the year 1814. Inside a busy brewery stood enormous wooden vats, each holding hundreds of thousands of gallons of beer. For years, they had quietly towered above the workers below. Then, without warning, one of the giant iron hoops surrounding a vat suddenly failed. The enormous container burst apart. Its collapse triggered a chain reaction, causing several neighboring vats to rupture as well. In an instant, a massive wave of beer surged through the brewery and into the surrounding streets. Buildings were damaged as the flood rushed through one of London's poorest neighborhoods. The cleanup took days, and the unusual disaster quickly became famous throughout the city. Investigators later ruled the event an accident. Today, it remains one of the most unusual industrial disasters ever recorded, a reminder that history sometimes takes the most unexpected turns. Our next story takes us to the Austrian Empire in the year 1788. The Austrian army was preparing to face the Ottoman Empire during a military campaign in what is now Romania. One evening, a group of soldiers crossed a nearby river to scout the area. Instead of finding the enemy, they found merchants selling alcohol. After drinking late into the night, an argument broke out among the soldiers. Voices were raised. Then someone reportedly fired a shot. Hearing the commotion in the darkness, other units believed the Ottoman army had launched a surprise attack. Confusion quickly spread through the camp. Orders were shouted in different languages. Panic took hold. Before long, Austrian soldiers were firing at one another in the darkness, each believing they were under attack. By sunrise, the battlefield was filled with abandoned equipment and exhausted troops. The Ottoman army reportedly arrived days later to find the Austrian camp already deserted. Although historians continue to debate exactly how much of the story is true, the Battle of Karánsebes remains one of history's most famous examples of military confusion. Sometimes, the greatest enemy is misunderstanding itself. Our next story begins shortly after one of Napoleon Bonaparte's greatest military victories. To celebrate, a grand rabbit hunt was organized for the French emperor. Thousands of rabbits were gathered and released into an open field. The organizers expected the frightened animals to scatter into the countryside. Instead, something completely unexpected happened. The rabbits rushed toward Napoleon and his hunting party. Wave after wave of rabbits charged across the field. Some climbed onto the horses, others surrounded the emperor's carriage. The startled hunters tried to chase them away, but the determined animals refused to retreat. The explanation turned out to be surprisingly simple. Many of the rabbits had been raised in captivity. Rather than seeing people as a threat, they associated them with feeding time. Instead of fleeing, they eagerly ran toward the nearest humans. The hunt quickly came to an end, and one of history's greatest military commanders found himself retreating before an army of rabbits. Today, the story remains one of the funniest and most unexpected moments associated with Napoleon Bonaparte. Those were 5 history facts that sound completely fake, but actually happened. If you enjoyed this video, there's plenty more unbelievable history still to uncover, so be sure to subscribe for more bizarre history every week. And tell me in the comments, which story was the hardest to believe? Until next time, remember, history is often stranger than fiction.